Heavenly Father, the maker of the universe, we come before your throne because, Lord, you have called us here and we have heeded your call and we came. Our heads, our hearts are given to you. We give our ears that are right this morning that, Lord, whatever shall be said will be edifying, Lord, to each one of us, and that it may be the tools that will help us in the life that you have chosen for us. Bless each and every heart that's here to accept the messages that you have prepared for us today. I pray in Jesus' name, amen. Okay, I think it's good to start with a recap, isn't it? Yes, test 101. What did we, maybe just something that has stayed with you this whole week, even yesterday's one, even from Monday. Okay, class, students, what do you remember about yesterday? Yes. Baba.
I've been intrigued by the stages that true education has moved from. Okay, from Eden, the home set up until the prophets. Okay, when it was shifting, and then God always has been programming people to return to go to the school of prophets, simply because it was as it was vanishing within where it really belonged. That was very intriguing for me.
There's nothing new under the sun. Yes. What has been, it shall be. Okay. Okay. Yes. What should we teach them? Yes, in the home. Is it only inside the home? Anyway, ne? Yes, outside, under the trees, in the bathroom, the kitchen. That's where we teach them. Yeah, that's not my phone. Okay. Someone else? My brother.
So I also realized that I've been seeing now in my child and yet I'm actually the teacher.
Yes, I think that's.
Project the world much than myself. So it's something that was, for me, it was a big lesson that it was actually our responsibility as a parent to teach our children than trusting someone else that we do not know.
Yes. I think yes, that what was the main message yesterday is we are all students. So we shouldn't say our children are the students. We are all students and we are learning together. Okay? So today, okay. Okay, I want us to go to a known verse. Deuteronomy 6. Let's start from 4 to 7. First, these words. This word shall be in thine what? Yes. They must first be in our hearts before we can teach them diligently unto our children. Do you see the process? You can't teach what you don't have. I think that was the message for yesterday. So we thank God that He always reminds us that we should teach them how diligently. Homeschooling is not about if you are taking the children out of school and then you're going to sit here and do unschooling. There are many learning approaches. The unschooling approach is that we just go with the flow. When the child says, Mama, what is this? And then you say, then that when we teach, no. We need to take an approach that is will help us to do it diligently and teach our children what God requires. That's why we went through the steps. Where shall we teach? Who should teach? When shall we teach? What shall we teach? So if you know these things, you are able to structure your homeschool to say, okay, this is the time that I must teach this. what did the children of Issachar know? They knew the times and what they should do when they know those times. You don't just know and then you leave it. You know what to do and then you do it. Okay, so just to end up yesterday, to round up, we learned about the prenatal. That's the first step of the prenatal step, and we also learned about the 0 to 7 milestone. That we should not postpone the work and say the children will learn when they are older. That's what the devil has always impressed in our minds. Oh, we're still young to learn these things. Still young to cook. Huh? We can learn and cook with our children even as they are young. You know, as a helper, bringing you a spoon, they are part of the kitchen. Am I right? They may not necessarily be stirring or doing, but when you cut, they are cutting with a table knife. That's how I started my boys with in the kitchen. I gave them that knife that is blunt, and they would cut bananas, things that are soft. And then they progressed into where they are today. So we learned that it's the most important period, very important. If you don't take advantage of it, the Satan will plant the first crop, okay? The first seed and yield the first crop. So the first years are important. Okay. Maybe before I continue, what are the things that the 0 to children learn? 0 to 3, what are they learning? They develop motor skills controlled by movements instead of reflexes, okay? And all things around are making an impression upon them, helping to give a bent of his character. I hope we are listening. These are the what? The 0 to 3 age. They like to imitate others and to help when they can. It is said that children are born creative, but it is us who kill their what? Their creativity. Hi, you're naughty. Get out of there. Hi, you'll get yourself wet. And that child is exploring the world. Am I right? Yeah, they sing this water. What is this? They want to see to feel the texture. They're playing with mud. And all we think of is, oh, you're going to be dirty. Now I'm going to wash. So we have been programmed to live in concrete places. In the cities. People, they put concrete all over. There's no place there's no place to play, nothing, no place to plant. So we are all clean. I remember when I first came to the city, I had bought my children all bright clothes, blue, light blue, and we came to that place, it's got black soil. So you can imagine that we should teach. So at this age, 0 to 7, they need to learn Bible studies. So first, from the outside, these are eyes, because as they grow, as they don't know everything, you must teach them. They know that these are toes, these are this. So you need to teach them physiology and hygiene. They need to also know inside. But obviously, it's in stages. As they are young, you teach them from the outside. And for instance, when you teach digestive system, they don't understand. You will explain to them that as we eat and chew, you can use a blender, then switch it on and start blending and say the importance of chewing. When you chew, then our food, when it comes to the digestive system, into the stomach, it's going to be digested, mixed with the enzymes or the digestive juices, and it must become like this liquid in the blender. So you see, so you illustrate what they cannot see with what they see. So it's very important. So we need to be intelligent how we teach our children these things and adapt them to their age. Practical and creative arts. So they need to learn these practical we talked about sewing, we talked about this, we talked about that. But as they are young, because their eyes are not, they're not fully developed. So you need to be careful what practical activities they can do. So we talked, cooking is part of it. It's a practical activity. Painting, they can do that. And it's a lot of things. As you work, as father is working in the carpenter, as they work, as you build the toilet, as you build the water tank, they are there. And they are learning mathematics as you do that. Can you see that? Because there's measurements that are being done. So those practical skills, maybe we'll try and list them. What are those practical skills in totality? Then voice, culture, and music. It says, let there be music in the home and there will be less censure. Do you know that chapter? That verse, that quotation. Let there be music where? In our home, so that there'll be less what? Censure. I think it's in, I'll try and get the quotation. So they need to learn how to sing. And it said Jesus, when he was troubled, when people were complaining this and complaining that in the carpenter shop, what he did was he would just sing a song. And these people, they would ultimately join him, and then they forget about their troubles. So singing is healing. Singing is a prayer. So let it be music in our homeschools. And children must be taught how to sing. We learn to harmonize as early as they are young. So we teach them music and voice and how voice is, develops. Where does it come from? So it's very important. Reading preparation. In as much as we say children should not read or write at this age because their brains are not fully developed, there must be reading preparation. So you need to prepare them. Read to them. You must do what? Yes, you're developing a reading culture for them. So you read to them bedtime stories every night, for instance, or whatever stories that you have. There are books there that I will bring. The simple ones are my Bible Friends. Have you seen them? Can you bring it? My Bible Friends. I think you'll find it. Or Uncle Arthur's Bible Stories, the blue one and the red one. So those are very simple books that you can start with. So they teach the Bible stories in a simple way. The picture is big like this, and the story is as concise as possible. So because it's at night, you don't want to overload them. So you would read them those stories. There's bedtime stories that you can read them. There's stories in Africa. So try to gather as much books as possible. But you can also read from the Bible straight. I used to do that. Maybe you choose a chapter or you reinforce what you are learning that time. Then you read those chapters. Or you can have an audio. You can have a what? Audio Bible, audio stories that you would put there, a little dramatized, not too much because the children are imaginative at that time. So you don't want to overload them with, being too imaginative, but just a little dramatized. So reading preparation is done by the parents. Children don't know how to read at that time. They need to learn phonemic awareness to prepare them for the reading class. They must learn what? Phonemic awareness. The sounds, like this is this is this is. If you plan to teach them English, English has got 20. Thank you. It's got 26 letters of the alphabet, but it's got 44 sounds. So you don't teach them ABC, you teach them the sound. So this is the book, My Bible Friends. Can you see that? Yeah, it's 5. It's book number 5. It's got 5 books. It's a very good book for first readers. Can you see the big pictures? The child is able to tell a story back to you, not by reading, but by seeing the pictures. So as let's say this is a story of Nebuchadnezzar and Dan, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Okay? So, okay, let me start from the beginning. Okay, maybe here. So this is when they were captured and they are coming. So you tell a story, they look at the picture, they understand what you are teaching them. This is what is called illustrations. So as you teach them and you turn a page, they understand the story when they choose whether to eat or not to eat. Daniel purposed in his heart that he will not defile himself with a portion of the king's meat and with the wine which he drank. You see, there they are. They are saying, no, we are not eating. This food is not good. You see? So as they see this, as they say the story to you, it's as if they are reading it themselves. But they are not. They're telling what? A story. And then here they are requesting, no, we can't eat. Can we eat bread and water? I mean, the pulses and the water. So these are some of the Bible stories that you can get. So there's a blue one, Uncle Arthur, that you can buy. I think many of you you know it, ne? I couldn't carry my thing, so these are the books and the Bible stories, bedtime stories that you can read to them. So now, returning to phonemic awareness. So children must know how to do those phonemic awareness. You can do the jolly phonics, but make sure that the songs are good. So create your own songs. So children can know what each sound is about. So you prepare them. There's no book work. So there's a lot of singing and maybe a lot of visual for them to see what this is. This is an S, this is a U. Okay? Practical mathematics. Practical what? Maths. So they will learn maths. Yes, where's Nomsa? Nomsa and I, we did practical maths yesterday. Didn't we do the maths in the kitchen? We did the maths in the kitchen. We were measuring the drink for Baba Mijazi. We tried to put 5 cups of water to do the hibiscus juice, but the container was too small. Then we had to readjust. Then we went to half a cup, and the water was too small. Then we said, let's do 3/4 cups. Then we did 3/4 cups, and the water was just right. You see? So we are doing what? Mathematics. Then we did the ratios. How much is water to the honey? Those who did the juice. What's the ratio? Okay, yes, 1:4 or 4:1. Okay, so we did that. So the 4-part water, 1 part honey. Okay, so they are learning what? Ratios. Ratios in our curriculum or the national curriculum. It's a high school lesson. Am I right? High school ratio. I am shocked. You know, so ratios you learn in the kitchen when you do soy milk powder, it has to do with ratios. Do you understand? So during this time, that's when you learn practical mathematics. No book work, nothing. So they learned how much fruits they should put in there, how much hibiscus they should put in there. So you learn that. So they need to learn practical mathematics. Is that clear? So I named you 10 things. You can add as the children grasp things. So now we're going to the 8 to 10 years. But before we go there, we were taking a walk with Mrs. Mandula. She was coming behind. And she said to me, and I said, come, let's go. And she says, yeah, even the snails, they went into the ark. I will also go reach the destination finally. Do you see the method of God? God gave each animal time. Who were the first to arrive at the ark? Do you think? Who were the first to arrive at the ark? The cheetahs and the lions. Yes, they are fast. Which are the fastest animals? The eagles, yes. Yeah. many fastest animals. Which is the fastest bird in the whole world? The peregrine falcon is the fastest. So when all the birds were flying, the peregrine falcon was the first to land on top of the ark. On land animals, which is the fastest animal? Parents, children, on land. A cheetah. Which is the fastest mammal in the whole world? This is a tricky one. I know I got you. The fastest mammal. The fastest mammal. It's a bat. A bat is a mammal. Did you know that? A bat is not a bird. It's a mammal that can what? Can fly. You get it when you do mammals. So it's the fastest mammal. It's a mammal. It's got mammal glands. It's got four legs. Okay? But it can fly. It doesn't lay eggs, so it gives birth to the children. You see, our science is very nice, ne? We learn these things, and they wait for you to go to university to do zoology to know that the fastest bird, a mammal is a bird. Hi, I still cry foul. So, yes. So here's my point on learning styles and paces. So, which was the last animal, the slowest animal in the world? A sloth and a what? A snail, yes? A snail, no, a snail. Tortoises, yes. But if ever they didn't get into the ark, we wouldn't know about them, ne? But God gave everyone a chance to make it into the what? Into the ark. That's the method that we should follow. Go with the pace of the child. So the ants also, they were the slowest. They also made it into the ark. What about the elephants? The elephants are also fast, ne? Yeah. So there they were. Maybe they were uprooting trees along the way. Who knows? Okay. The giraffes, they were there. Everyone made it into the ark according to their own time. So when you mix children and teach them things and want them to, it's like telling the animals, okay, animals, today we are going to fly. What's going to happen to the fishes? What's going to happen to the fishes? They can't fly, ne? Maybe a butterfly fish or a fly fish will try. But the rest, they won't even come to the competition because they can't. If they say, today all of us are going to swim, the fishes can be happy because they know how to swim, that they will be the first one. If ever, this is the method that is used in the schools. If it's a flying lesson, everybody must fly. So you can't use the method for each child. So other children are visual. They are what? They learn by what they see. So they need to, when you teach them, they need to see it. Oh, I have a child like that. When you are teaching them, and I would teach them, and you see that, hey, this child is listening, né? But he's got a worry in the eye. So when I take out a book and I say, because I would explain a thing, because you need to visualize it in your head, right? And then I would say to them, okay, this is the river. And I would say, oh, is this a river? And I say, yes, it's a river. And you see that they start to smile. Because they are what? The child is what? Is a visual learner. Ne? So that's why you need to appeal to all the senses. And then this other one, you say the leg. And when you say, oh, okay, I knew it. Yes, I knew. This is what was in my head. And I'm like, oh, okay. So others, they want to feel something. When you say, it is soft, it is this, it is pricky, they want to feel it. And when they feel it, they understand. The senses, they understand what you're talking about. So that's kinesthetic. That's the learning style. It's what? Kinesthetic. Okay? And then you've got the auditory. Auditory. This is visual, this is auditory. The auditory learners, they are okay. Those are academic students. Okay? And this is the method that is being used in our schools. Sit there, listen. So, what happens to a child who's visual? They get lost. What happens to a child who's kinesthetic? They get lost. So, with auditory children, they like it when they listen to stories. You read to them, you tell them, they listen to, they imagine those things. So, you need to balance and you need to know your students. So now as you get to the 8 to 10 years, this is when your child starts to read and starts to write, starts to spell and to reason as well. The work of parents precedes that of a teacher. They have a homeschool the first grade. Okay, so Sister White here was writing for the parents who send out the children out of the home to the church schools. So they need to do the work first, the thorough work, so that they can take them to the second grade. You can take the second grade outside of the school, maybe it's a church school, but because we don't know that, so we take them to the next grade. This is the reading and the writing. If they seek carefully and prayerfully to know and to do their duty, they will prepare their children to enter the second grade, to receive instruction from the teacher. If parents are so engrossed in the business and pleasures of this life that they neglect the proper discipline of the children, the work of the teacher is not only made very hard and trying, but often rendered wholly fruitless. So it is referring to the work of character building, which is done between 0 to 7. Children must be able to behave well so that when they go and be taught by other people, they are not a what? They are not a burden. And you start from scratch, but you must continue. You must continue the work. So this is Review and Herald, June 13, 1882. So Child Guidance 300 says, for the first 8 or 10 years of a child's life, the field or the garden is the best schoolroom, the mother the best teacher, nature the best lesson book. So as you add the reading and the writing, they still need to continue being at home. Remember that quotation we read, that the parents should be the first teachers of a child up until the age of 8 to 10 years. Remember that. So at that time when you start, it's so nice. I wish my mom was my first teacher to teach me how to read and how to write. Don't you wish that for your children? Because then as they struggle, you understand them and you're going to help them. So we should be there for them. So physical development is very key. Children should not be long confined to within doors, nor should they be required to apply themselves closely to study until a good foundation has been laid for physical development. So I think let me see, what chapter is this? Chapter 300. Chapter 52 of Child Guidance, Choosing the School. So this is a good chapter to learn when the child starts reading and writing. So here we are also told physical development is key before you can continue. Even when the child is old enough to attend school, his health should be regarded as of greater importance than a knowledge of books. I'm still reading page 300 of Child Guidance. What do 8 to 10-year-olds learn? So you continue, remember, Bible, nature, natural science, they continue. They still do chores and gardening. You still do nature walks. to reinforce your lessons. They do health sciences. Now they move to physiology and anatomy. Okay? The ones there, 0 to 7, you are still introducing the physiology, as in this is how you look, and they will label the eyes with you on a chart. But these ones, you go deeper now. They learn the anatomy, how the systems work. And the good book that I can recommend is by Kellogg, the first book in physiology and hygiene. Very good, because it explains to the child a body is like a machine. A body is like what? A body is like functions like a machine. A body is like a house. So that's how it starts. A body is like a what? A house. Yes. So if it's like a machine, it means now all the parts of the machine must work in order for the machine to function properly. So Brother Chaipa will understand it better. All the systems must work. So they learn physiology and anatomy. They continue with the practical arts. Now you can add the sewing. You start with the hand sewing. You know, now the eyes are fully developed, so you can do the hand sewing. You can start with simple things like a square, the mats that you put on the table, the placemats, the handkerchief, the bow ties for boys, for girls you can do this, what is the headband. So you look for simpler things that they can do according to their ages. They continue painting. Then voice, you continue doing voice, learning how to sing. And then music instrument, that's when you can introduce simple one, just a single one, okay? Maybe a recorder or something. Then in this case, they learn just to play around. You are not going to be serious about it, am I right? So you have music instruments in the house, and they start learning that this is, or you teach them this is a flute, this is a what, this is a what, okay? Because music is very academic. It appeals to the mind, you know, to learn an instrument. So you can just do music appreciation, learn all about the music around us. And they do phonics, reading, spelling, and writing. Then that's when you start the real work now. This is A, and this is B. This is T. So when you combine B, T, it's bat. Okay? So you learn that, and it's a process. It's a what? It can take a year and a half or to 2 years, depending on the child. Some children are dyslexic. According to the world, that's what they say. So they grasp, so they have a problem with decoding. For instance, a B and a D. Some children, they don't know the difference. So it will take them time. You know, even now, you know, the brain is somewhat. Sometimes I want to write B and I find myself writing a D. I'm like, okay, where does that come from? So imagine with children as they start to learn. So it's a serious process. So that's why you teach it alone. You don't teach it with other academics. So a child must learn to read and write and spell. As soon as they learn that they know how to read, then only then we can move them to the next portion. So I'm left with 10 minutes, I suppose. Ne? So they do the reading, the spelling, and the writing. Each process is different. Each process is what? Is different. So the child must know the phonics first before they can be able to read. And writing is also another process because they need to do penmanship. And you need to choose, do you do cursive first or do you do manuscript first? So it's a serious study on its own. So don't mix it with others. Now you do maths, now you do science, you do geography. But the child cannot read, the child cannot write. So you concentrate the first 8 to 10 years for the reading and writing, okay? So this is your lower primary education. So practical maths with manipulatives. So you continue with your practical maths. Maths is one of the lessons or the subjects that you need a good foundation on, and you don't need to rush it. Because I don't know how's the problem in Zim, the problem in Malawi, but we have a serious problem in South Africa. The maths, children cannot compute because they rush the maths. You know, at this time, they do. I think sometimes there's misplacement. You know, the ratios that they need to come at the beginning, they end with them, and then they bring the maths that is difficult at the beginning. You know, the devil is really at work, and we cannot trust the textbooks of the world. We need to thoroughly investigate them and look at them and use what is right. So you do your maths with your manipulatives. You can buy those abacus, or with beans, or in the garden. Then we learn the maths. Okay. As I said, we did our maths in the kitchen. Most of the time, we did our maths in the garden for quite a long time before we started doing these practical maths. So now, is it clear? Is it clear, people? I wanted today's Thursday. I want to move a bit faster. Maybe let's do 10 to 15 because for the next few minutes. 10 to 15 is the higher primary. It's the what? Now your child is able to read and your child is able to write. Your child now, probably you have rounded off the natural science. Okay? Now they know how to do chores. They know how to do their bed. Nothing is going to distract you when you do academics. Okay? You follow a schedule. People know that by a certain time, all the things must be done. They've gone through the nature walks. They are physically fit. They've done their health sciences, their physiology and anatomy, the introduction. They have done most creative arts, practical arts, the painting, the drawing, and this, you know, fine arts and practical arts and creative arts. So now they are going to learn academics. But here are some few principles. There are but very few, who take time to carefully consider what an amount of knowledge, both of temporal and eternal things, may be gained by the child during its first 12 or 15 years of their lives. Ne? Child Guidance 196. So not only should children in these first years of life be obtaining book work, but they should be learning the arts essential for practical life. The latter should not be neglected for the former. So why am I bringing this counsel? Because it's easy for me as an academic parent to throw my children into academics fully, then we forget about the practical duties. Do you hear what I'm saying? Because now we're going to learn geography, history, science, mathematics. Now it's pure maths. So it's easy for me to load the day fully with academics, and then we don't find time to work in the garden. And you say we are busy doing school. So we should not neglect practical life with the what? And replace them with the academics or with the mental work. From the pillar of cloud of Jesus gave directions through Moses to the Hebrews that they should educate their children to work, that they should teach them trades, and that none should be idle. It is a great mistake to permit the young men to grow up without learning some trade. So now, during this time when they're learning academics, you are laying a foundation for trades. Trades being your carpentry, welding, whatever trades there are for the young men. The women, the children, maybe the ladies, that's when we introduce Brother Owen to come and help us if we have to bring him in for them to excel in their cooking. But cooking is for everyone, as we've said. And sewing. So we do that, all of us. So this must be incorporated. Do you understand? So you mustn't say, we'll do it later. No, you do it together. It is a great mistake to permit young men to grow up without learning some trade. That's Child Guidance 355. What do 10-year to 15-year-olds learn? That's higher primary education. They do Bible studies, but in this case, it's more self-study. So they are personal devotions. I didn't go, it was going to take me long to go deeper into each and every field to say Bible study, how it's done. So during this time, they do more self-study. You'll find them that you have rounded up the whole Bible. So now you give them things that they can do. They self-study. They now investigate. They now ask you. That's what happened to us during that time. So they would choose what is it that they want to learn. When you ask them, what would you like to learn? No, I would like to know about the great controversy. Well, even before these 10 years, we had already done the book Great Controversy. It took us 2 years, so we thought it was important. But then with the Bible studies, self-study, we were using My Bible First. So now I like My Bible First because it includes the Bible, the spirit of prophecy. It includes history as well. And it takes history, and your lesson is complete, and like it cements what they have learned through the four conflicts set: the patriarchs, prophets and kings, the Isaiah of Ages, and Acts of the Apostles, and it includes also the Great Controversy. So we still continue with chores and gardening. There's no such thing as say, because now they're doing academics, they're not working anymore. No. So your schedule must still include, I think maybe we'll find time to look at the schedule, maybe in the morning. They must find time to do chores and gardening. Gardening is the ABC of true education. And it's Brother Mija has said we need it for self-sustainability. We need it to save money. So children need to know and be able to grow. Now in this period, as they are 10 or 15, they start managing their own gardens. They start managing their what? Own gardens. You must not be there. They must do it themselves. They must bring produce in the garden. So yes. I can show you pictures of from they start bringing cabbages, they bring broccolis, and it shows them that they can do this work. Like now, I'm not involved in I have my own garden. Each one has their own garden. They just produce carrots, and they use a different method. They say to me, they planted carrots and they thinned them out. And I said, why do you do that? I said, we want them to be big. And indeed, they were big. So they were thinning them out and making space in between. And they were really big like this. Yes. So they learn by looking at you, and they learn and they start doing what they want to do. Sometimes they don't water the garden. Then they think they die. My eldest last year, the garden was bad. He used to transplant and did not water the garden. So every transplant, maybe one would live. And I said to him, boy, this year you must really pull up your socks. You see, and you see that others, it's not their thing. They don't like it. But it is a what? It's a requirement. It's a must. Chores, gardening, practical arts and skills, they continue. So that's where you see, okay, this one is excelling in this. You add a lot of things. We added crocheting and knitting. So last year they've done the hats, they did again this year. So they're improving their skills. With sewing, we did aprons and other things. So you grow the skill with them, okay? So now in this case, whatever you've been teaching them from 0 to 7, you see you are repeating, but you are what? You are growing the skill and you are managing the skill. They should not forget that. Music instruments, that is when now the children now to learn instruments. Now they start to learn it 1 or 2 or even more depending on how they grasp, okay? So music instruments, then they start to learn academic studies, which would be your health and life sciences And now they're going to organs and fully into body systems. And the related systems. So they go and learn the organs. What does the spleen do? What does the bladder do? You see, now it's getting deep. You started with outside, you started with explaining the digestive system, how they work, relating to the blender with the things that they can see, and this and this and that. So now they're learning the organ, the body systems and the organs in those body systems. Okay, let me do an example. What are the organs related with the digestive system? Let's take that. Which organs are related or are in the digestive system? Stomach, yes. Mouth, it's an organ, it's required. The intestines, yes. Come, this side, man, you're too quiet. What are the organs? You know, the organs which is, it's the organs inside the body or outside. So the mouth, and you can see, ne? What about this one? Is it not important? The tongue. Okay, so you can see now with your body systems, now there are many organs. So you learn about the tongue. The tongue is important to learn about. The stomach, the spleen, the pancreas, the liver, as Mama said. These are part of the digestive system. So you learn about the organs. So you go deeper. Then you do your pure maths. Okay? But you must be careful. Start right, the right foundation. You start with arithmetic, your addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, decimals, fractions, ratios, and what. Now you're doing it on paper. Okay? You started first with the practical mathematics. Now you're making it written. So whatever like, I want to give Nomsa a lesson for her to write me the dimensions or the measurements that we did. This is how you do the hibiscus juice. Then they write how much they have used, how many cups of water, how many, yabon. So that's when they put it on paper. It becomes difficult because it's academic. So these are the things they would do. Music and voice, you continue. Natural sciences, you continue. In this case, you would probe them. You would do more experiments. So it would include your chemistry there inside, your physical science, and language and arts. That's where you add your grammar, your composition, your comprehension tests. So you do a lot of language arts in there. Then they do social sciences, your history, geography, and prophecy. You don't separate them. So these now you see, but you don't teach everything in one day. So maybe in a week, you say today, Monday to Tuesday, we'll take 3, and then the other days will take the other ones. Or you can do in a different way. For instance, we take one, maybe we do maths and English, which are the compulsory. Then we add, because we've been doing health sciences. So maybe we say we do one organ. When you are done, we're moving to geography. Because when you do your family Bible lesson, it includes everything, natural science, geography, where these things are found. And so now everything is done. So I think I've taken much time. But we are now at the end. So you heard what the 10 to 15 they learn. Now I'm going to end with this one, the multi-grading. The system of grading is a hindrance to the pupils' progress, real progress. Some pupils are slow at first, and the teacher needs to exercise great patience. But these people may, after a short time, learn so rapidly as to astonish him. Do you hear that? They start slow and then they pick up pace. Others may appear to be very brilliant, but time may show that they have blossomed too suddenly. The system of confining children rigidly to grades is not wise. Manuscript Releases, Volume 2, page 215, paragraph 3. So why do we choose to do multi-grading? When you don't grade the children. In our schools, in our school, on life sciences, we are in the high school level. On character building, we are still lagging behind. So you are in different grades as you learn because you go with your what? With your pace. On mathematics, we are still, maybe we are somewhere in between because we want to take it slow and so that they can learn and understand. With English, we are already up ahead. So it depends on your children, how you go with them. And also depends on you as a parent. Maybe you've got strong skills in maths. You may push them quicker. Do you understand? And they will understand. So it depends on the schools. But all in all, we are striving or crying for a balance. So this is, in short, what children should learn in each age group. So tomorrow we'll continue with the remaining groups. And may God bless us as we will learn to be versatile, to use different learning approaches or learning styles. Don't confine your children to one style of learning. Amen. Okay. Yeah. Comments or questions? Otherwise, I will question. Which is the tallest animal in the whole world? Okay, giraffe. Where is the giraffe found? While the parents are thinking of the questions, where are giraffes found? I don't hear you. Yes? In the jungle. Which continent are they found? Which continent? I want this side. I'm coming that side. Which continent?
Africa.
Africa. Giraffes are only found in Africa. So we need to know these things. You cannot find a giraffe in the United States of America. Makes Africa a very beautiful place. Eh? You're going to get bored when you go to America. Eh? You find the mountain lions. Where are the lions found? Yes? In the jungle. Which continent do you find the lions? Africa. We've got African lions. You find them in Africa only. They go to Europe, they will die. Okay? Where do we find tigers? Tigers. Please don't tell me Africa. Yes? The what? The savannah forest. Which continent? Yes? We're doing geography right now. Can you hear that? Yes? You don't have tigers in Africa. Parents, where do we find tigers? Asia, okay? We find them in Siberia. There's a Siberian tiger. There? Yes, Asia and part of in Russia. Okay? Which is the biggest forest in the world? You don't wait to go to university to know this. Yes? Amazon. Amazon is the biggest forest. Yeah. I can partly agree with you. But the biggest forest is in Russia. It's called the Tiger Forest. You know, we need to know these things. Watch videos, nature videos. Yeah? Yeah? Very beautiful. Tiger Forest is the biggest. Which is the longest river in the world? Huh? Sure. I'm coming here, yes? The Nile River is the longest, ne? At home there it's a debate. Amazon. Nile. Then the other would say, no, Amazon is the widest, but the longest is what? It's the Nile. Parents, do you have any question? Parents, do you have any question? I was trying to do this while you're thinking, or comments. Huh? Seems like they know what they need to teach, when they need to teach. So now they're waiting for the moment to teach it. Ne? May God bless us. I think I have the last one. The last one. The last one. Mountains now. The highest mountain in the world. Mount Everest. Okay. The next mountain, the next tallest mountain. It's found, yes? The what? The Alps. It's the longest range, that one. Eh? I think the second one is the Kilimanjaro. Yes? Mount K2. Where is it found? I think that's, yes? I think the second one, I may have forgotten, but I think it's the Mount Kilimanjaro is one of the highest mountains in the world. And where is it found? Over there. Okay? The longest waterfall. Yes. Let's end it here. The longest waterfall in the world. Waterfall. Do you know what is a waterfall? There's a river, it goes and then it finds a mountain and then the water falls. It's a waterfall, the longest waterfall in the world. Victoria Falls. Mm-mm. No, 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 no. The Angel Falls. It's found in Venezuela. It's a 1 kilometer. Yes, that's the longest. The second is found in Africa, in South Africa. It's called Tugela Falls. It's a bit below a kilometer. It's in the KZN, in the Drakensberg Mountains. You've heard that? No, I haven't been. Yes, I've been to the Tugela River, yes, but to the falls I haven't. But I think December I would go. So we need to know these things. You see that even after sin, God still have beautiful things left for us. Okay, the biggest animal in the world. Elephant. Do we find elephant only in Africa? Where do we find them as well? India. Okay, they are Indian elephants. They are a bit smaller, but then the African elephants are bigger. Where do you find the biggest elephants? They are all over. In Mozambique, there's the most big. You know where I stay in my home? I stay maybe a few meters from the elephant park. So one time they trampled upon the fence and got out and went to eat in the marula. So we got an opportunity to see them eating. So yeah, we have that connection with the elephants. All right. So I think there are even in Botswana, people live with animals. So it's the other people who came and they separated us with the animals, but God wanted us to be in contact with nature. May God help us. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay.
Can I give one comment? As she was explaining, I think. As she was explaining, I think every one of us have realized that this is an investment. Okay, homeschooling is not you're not going to do homeschooling properly if you're not going to invest. If you have to do musical lessons, you have to have the musical equipments. That costs a lot. So
it's high time parents who wants to do homeschooling to have industry where they can generate income, because you know, one thing that I have seen with people who wants to quit city life, they abandon everything. You know, you abandon work, you abandon everything, and you don't do industry, you don't generate income, and that's a challenge. How are you going to buy the sunlight curriculum? Yes, it's free, but you need to buy the textbooks. It's cost a lot of money. You buy that in dollars, you see. So we really need to think about how we can generate income to make our schools sustainable, because we cannot manage to continue teaching our children at home when we don't have the the facilities, or we don't have the materials to teach them. So yeah, we need to think about that. Think about how we can generate income.